played and completed an intense game like Five Nights at Freddy's last time, I think it's time to go more modern, even though Five Nights at Freddy's was modern. Calm, cool, very relaxed, and story-driven. If anyone knows me, they know I love story-driven games, like Telltale's The Walking Dead Seasons 1 and 2, and The Wolf Among Us. But since I'm still waiting for The Walking Dead Season 3, this game will have to do. But does it hold up to the Telltale quality, is what I'm thinking. Or does it crash and burn like other story games? Put the French words down, people. Allergies. Let's get into the game. Life is Strange is an episodic, story-driven, interactive game. The game's first episode was released on January 29th of this year, and when I saw its Steam store page, I saw its rating from the community saying that it was overwhelmingly positive. Really? That was just from the first episode. Telltale's games have this rating to them as well, so this is a good sign so far. Before I start, some history as always. Life is Strange was made by indie company Don't Not Entertainment, famous for this game as well as developing Remember Me, which was okay, but nothing to write home about. This game was published by Square Enix, famous for the Final Fantasy series. However, one question on my mind that I had ever since I saw this game on Steam, since day one, was if it held to Telltale. Well, that's what I'm here to find out. A few things to put out though. Since this game is episodic, I'll be giving each episode their own review. This way I can give each episode its pros and cons, and this way we won't be here for a good maybe hour. I'll always be spoiling this game's plot. This goes for all episodes, so spoiler alert. Please be advised as well that I recorded on my laptop, which isn't a powerhouse when it comes to graphics, so slow down is clear as you can see from the frames per second in the top right corner of the screen. With all this out of the way, let's dive in. The game starts off telling us that we'll be making choices throughout the story that affect the past, present, and future, and these are true. This game has the player decide certain choices, so because of this, I'll be telling the story from my playthrough, as well as pointing at some interesting choices, which are not in this game so far. Not only that, but I'll be telling the plot right now, so this has been your warning. We start off in a thunderstorm with a girl waking up in the forest. After reaching the nearby lighthouse, she spots a huge tornado destroying the nearby town, and then destroying the lighthouse, crushing upon our main character. Until she wakes up in class. So this game took from the end of Lost, where it was all a dream. This is Max Caulfield, an 18-year-old girl who just moved to attend Blackwell Academy in her hometown of Arcadia Bay, Oregon. It sure looks like Oregon, since I do live there. Trees, bays, hipsters. Max is a photographer and is currently in Mr. Jefferson's class. He's a famous guy according to these students, but he just looks like a hipster to me. I mean, hey, we're in Oregon. This game just thinks Oregon's full of hipsters. I'm gonna put on these and bam, Ibsen hipster. Welcome to Oregon, motherfuckers. After class, she goes to the bathroom to relax with one of our main antagonists come into play, Nathan Prescott. He's freaking out over something until a blue-haired chick comes in and talking about drugs and money, until he pulls out a gun and shoots her, with Max reaching out of her hand where she almost immediately wakes up in class. She now learns she has the ability to rewind time at will. Max returns to the bathroom and this time saves the girl by pulling the fire alarm. After informing the principal, if the player chooses so, she grabs her friend's flash drive from the dorm, but not before moving biggest bitch of the school, Victoria. On the way to go see her friend, another one of Max's friends, Kate, is being harassed by the security officer of Blackwell, David Madsen, with the player having the option to intervene. But either way, Max goes to see her friend. This is Warren. A nerd has a huge crush on Max and has a good heart and is easy to like. That's about it. While they're talking, Nathan comes in and threatens Max with Warren stepping in and getting his ass kicked in the process. Max then meets the blue-haired chick again, who turns out to be her long-lost childhood friend, Chloe Price. Chloe helps Max escape from Nathan, and they go to her house where they can catch up on life. There, we learn that when Chloe's father died and Max left for Seattle 5 years ago, Chloe made a friend with Rachel Amber, who we know to be missing because her missing poster is all over the school, because she put it up. However, Chloe's stepfather Isaac turns out to be David, who delivers the best line in the game.
Is that grass? You been token up again in here?
You still with me? Good, because we're almost done with the story. The two leave Chloe's house and go to the lighthouse where they talk about more shit, until Max has the dream she had from the very beginning again. When she reaches the top of the lighthouse, she finds out that the day this tornado hits Arcadia Bay is October 11th, which is the following Friday of that week. When Max returns to reality, she tells Chloe her powers, and then some freak snow falls down.
The hell is this? Snowflakes? It's like 80 degrees. How?
Hey, that is true. We get no snow here in Oregon. I'm not kidding you, we don't. And that's where the episode ends. Phew, after all of that, it's time to relax and talk about presentation and gameplay. This game looks good. It's cel-shaded like the Wind Waker or the Telltale games. They decide to go for everyone looking very human rather than comic book-esque. But since this is coming from someone who has played the shit out of the Telltale games, it's nothing I haven't seen before, except the lighting is way better in this game compared to the Telltale games. I mean, Wolf Among Us comes to a close second, but this game beats it. Although I played this on Steam, I did play for controller since the game had controller support, so I'll be telling the controls for a controller. This game is a point-and-click cinematic story-driven game. You move around with the left stick and look around with the right stick. Actions are performed by pressing the 4 buttons, with the Y button being looking, X button being taking a photo, which we'll get into later, and B and A being certain actions. These buttons are also pressed for dialogue in cutscenes or with direct characters. Holding down LT while moving makes you move faster. Since this game is all about time travel, the player is able to reverse time at will by holding down RT, with LT speeding up the rewind process. The swirl in the top right corner shows how much time you can reverse. The gray dot on the swirl represents an action or choice that you made, and by pressing LB, you'll immediately go to that dot. Any inventory item you carry will still be with you while you reverse time, and the place where you're standing, you'll still be there even if you reverse time. It's almost like a teleporting ability too. With this mechanic, the game has some interesting puzzles. It's not exactly shown here, but it is a taste for the rest of the game. The butterfly icon made after a choice shows that what you did will have consequences later on in the game. At any time you feel like a choice you made was wrong or not right, you can reverse to that point and redo what happened. Something the Telltale games are pretty picky on, so I embrace this choice. The speech bubble icon indicates that the information you just got from talking can be used in the past for more info or can be used to gain support from other characters. When the episode is done, it shows the choices that you make compared to everyone else's choices from all over the world, as well as your friends. Which is cool, but I don't have any friends that played this game with me. The first page shows major choices while the second page shows minor choices. Now on to the photos. This game is an optional collectathon with taking photos. It's completely optional and is only there for achievements. It's still fun to do though. I like this control setup. It's a lot like the Telltale games and feels very comfortable and responsive. My only complaint is that sometimes I confuse the rewind button and the sprint button, but that's just me and can you blame me? You hold down both buttons to rewind time faster. So, yeah. Where do I go from here? The game is episodic, and I just gave my presentation and gameplay, which doesn't change throughout the episode. And I already gave the story all in one go, since it would be easier on me and for the viewers like you. So that's just one of my 5 guidelines when writing a review. Well, since this game is story-driven, I can't talk about the story, which is why I made a new guideline for reviews when it comes to this game and the Telltale games, since I will be focusing on them way later on, though. So I'm focusing on, for every episode, the episode story, characters, and dialogue, as well as the choices you made in the past that affect the previous episodes, but that won't come into play until episode 2 and beyond, so hey, we're just going to focus on 3. Episode 1 of Life is Strange is fine. It sets up the characters, location, and the struggles they go through fine. I like to call this episode the exposition episode, since that's what it is. Setup, and there's even more setup in Max's journal, and oh my god! There is so much reading! 8 pages of backstory about Max, and more pages are added throughout the story telling the events of what happened and how this affects Max's emotions. You show their emotions! Don't tell the player or have them read about it. Oh yeah, the game does show, but it shows it in later episodes. Like a lot of episodic games and their first episode, the game doesn't explain where it is going, which is fine, but I'd rather guess about what's happening next rather than wait and see. I don't have many pros to say right now since I've kind of already stated them from before, but I want to get some cons out of the way before closing thoughts. So here we go. First off, the characters are identifiable, which I know does not sound like a con, it sounds more like a pro, but hold on. Most of these characters have one-note personalities. Warren is the nerdy guy who falls for the girl, Kate is the religious chick that has problems, Nathan is your typical high school rich douche, and Victoria is the rich bitch. Mr. Jefferson is the kind teacher who everyone thinks is cool, and all the girls thinks is hot, but there's something you just don't trust about him. Finally, the principal and David are both harsh people, but both have good hearts and can show their true selves. The only characters I think that are original most of the time is Max and Chloe, and I put emphasis on most of the time. Max is your typical shy high school student who keeps quiet and rather be alone, and let's be honest, you are either this person or you know this person. Chloe is just your typical troublemaker. These aren't bad, in fact it can sometimes add new flavors to the cliches, but it was not something I could ignore at the same time, new flavor or not. Second, the dialogue. The game takes place in 2013, which is fine, but because of this, there is lingo from this time, which doesn't make the game funny, but rather hurts itself.
Man, are you cereal?
Shake that bony white ass.
Is that grass? You been token up again in here? Thickly
I'm a
captured
human
human
time
condition in
machine.
black.
Oh, God, it's awful! Oh, God! Oh, no! I'm out! Let someone else review it! I need the pizza!
I can't remember one line from this game, except for the grass lines. It's so much fun to make fun of, but in the game like The Walking Dead, they have some real memorable lines. Something I hope the game fixes.
You don't touch that boy. You don't touch anybody. I've got a little girl in here to protect. You want to get violent, you old fuck? Well, come on. But you better get me first, because it's me before anyone else in here.
Life is Strange is having a rocky start right now. It's fine in some sections, but it needs work in others in both characters and their personalities and the dialogue. I'm sorry if I'm sounding harsh by saying all these things, but honestly, they can't come out of my head. Like, I can't get rid of them. It's just something that sticks out. This is the first episode, though, so it could fix on later, and I'm hoping so, too. They do. With that, I will see you guys next time with Life is Strange, Episode 2, Out of Time. Until then, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you subscribe for more, like and share with your friends so this gets spread all over the world. I'll see you guys in another video later. And my computer just finished installing Windows 10. So now I shall go and play games. Bye-bye.
That is a tasty plasma. Maybe I could sneak in and watch Final Fantasy Spirits Within. I don't care what anybody says, that's one of the best sci-fi films ever made.
It's funny because it's a bad movie.